Hello everyone. Today we are going to learn Cauchy's theorem. Let's see the statement of the theorem. If f of z is analytic at all points inside and on a simple closed curve C, then integral over C f of z dz is equal to 0. So this is the statement, and in the exam they will ask you state and prove. So the statement of the theorem you have to memorize. So now let's see the proof. And we know what do you mean by an analytic function. So we are starting with idea that the given function is an analytic function at all points inside and on a simple closed curve. So I'm taking that function f of z as u plus iv. Okay. So integral over c f of z dz is equal to integral over c u plus iv dx plus I dy. Okay. So if I multiply this, what is a real part? U dx is one real part, and then this iv into I dy. So if you multiply I into I will become I square. So it will become minus 1. So I have written minus. And then v dy I have written. The other two values are imaginary. Plus I into, what is the other one? V into dx. So I have written v dx. And then u into dy. So we have written that. So just segregated the real part and the imaginary part, kept I outside. Okay. So now we are going to use the Green's theorem. So what is the statement of a Green's theorem? If m and n are two real functions having continuous first order partial derivatives in a region R bounded by the curve C, then integral over C m dx plus n dy is equal to double integral over R. See the statement, del n by del x minus del m by del y into dx dy. Okay. So if you see the Green's theorem, this side is m dx plus n dy. We are going to apply the Green's theorem over here. This is m dx plus n dy. In the place of n, I have minus v. That's it. Here, in the place of m, I have v, and in the place of n, I have u. So here in the first case, m is u, n is minus v. We are going to apply Green's theorem for this. Same way, plus I into, here m is v and n is u. So this side we have got. So what is the other side? Double integral del n by del x minus del m by del y. So for example, if I am writing this, double integral over R del v by del x, but here we have a negative sign. So here negative will come, and then the next one will be minus of del m by del y. So I will write del u by del y. So let us use the Green's theorem for these two values. Yes. So integral over C, the first one I told you that the value is negative. So minus del v by del x minus del u by del y dx dy plus I into double integral over R. Their second one, first value is del u by del x minus del v by del y into dx dy. Just we have substituted Green's theorem for the previous integral. So now we have analytic function. If the function f of z is analytic, then CR equations, that is Cauchy-Riemann equations, satisfy. What is that CR equation? Ux is equal to Vy. In module 1 we have learnt and we have proved it. So del u by del x is equal to del v by del y. We can substitute any one value in that. And what is the other CR equation? Del u by del y, that is uy is equal to minus vx minus del v by del x. So we are just going to substitute. For example, minus del v by del x. In the place of minus del v by del x, I am going to substitute del u by del y. If I substitute del u by del y here, what I will get? Del u by del y minus del u by del y. That is what I have substituted here. First value will become 0. Second one, you can keep any one value. Del u by del x, you keep that as it is. Del v by del y, you replace again by this function. What is that? Del u by del x. So what you will get? Del u by del x minus del u by del x. So automatically the integral over C f of z dz is equal to 0. So this is the proof for this Cauchy's theorem. And we have the property followed by that. So the property, I'll read the statement. If C1 and C2 are two simple closed curves such that C2 lies entirely within C1. There are two simple closed curves. One curve lies entirely within the second curve. And if f of z is analytic on C1 and C2, it is analytic on both the curves and in the region bounded by C1, C2, then integral over C1 f of z dz is equal to integral over C2 f of z dz. Just now we saw line integral. So what I'm saying is integral along the curve C1, the function, is same as the integral along C2 of that same function. So if I draw the diagram, it is like this. The outer curve is C1, the inner curve is C2. So if C2, simple closed curve means from where it starts, if it's ending at the same point. So that is a simple closed curve. Need not be a circle. Even this is also a simple closed curve. Okay. So C2 lies entirely within C1. So if I integrate him along the line C1, the answer will be the same as if I integrate along the line C2. So this property we'll be using to prove Cauchy's integral formula. We have two theorem proofs over here. One is Cauchy's theorem, that what we have derived already, and this is a property from that theorem. So this property we'll use in Cauchy's integral formula. So you have to memorize the statement of this property, and the proof is not required for this, but along with the notes I have attached the proof also for this property. So now let's see the statement for Cauchy's integral formula. Okay, so if f of z is analytic inside and on a simple closed curve C, and if A is any point within C, okay, if you are taking a point A inside the simple closed curve C, then f of A is equal to 1 by 2 pi I integral over C f of z by z minus a dz. Again here the statement is very important because they will ask you state and prove. I repeat, there are 3 points here to memorize. One is the function is analytic inside and on a simple closed curve C. Second point is A is any point within C. Third one is a statement because we will be using this for solving the problem. F of A is equal to, this is what we have to prove, 1 by 2 pi A integral over C f of z by z minus a dz. Yeah. So now this is a proof. We are starting the proof with, if A is a point within this C, and we shall enclose it by a circle C1 with the radius r and A as center, such that C1 lies completely within C. So first of all, what they have given is A is any point within the closed curve C. What I am going to do is, I am going to enclose this A with another circle. Imagine that this is a circle. Okay. With center as A and radius as R. So we are going to again enclose this by a circle C1. I am naming that circle as C1 with radius R and Z is equal to A as center, such that this circle C1 lies completely within C. Okay. So now what we have got is the function f of z by z minus a is analytic inside and on the boundary of the annular region between C and C1. The function f of z is already analytic and this is inside the circle. So f of z by z minus a is also analytic inside and on the boundary of the region. If the function is two curves are there, C and C1, and the function is analytic inside and on the boundary, then just now we saw the property, right? What is that property? Integral over the first curve, the function is equal to integral over the second curve. This property we are going to use, whereas what is the first curve and what is the second curve? The first curve is nothing but what we are drawing around that point. So the first curve is a circle and the second curve is a given curve, closed curve C. So this need not be a circle. This is some closed curve. It can come and meet at the same point. That's it. So only this is a circle. What we are drawing inside is a circle. Yeah. Now if you see, this is some simple closed curve. And of course this is a circle. Doesn't look like a circle. But Okay, so now what I'm saying is, by using that property, integral over C f of z by z minus a dz is equal to integral over C1 f of z by z minus a dz. Correct? This is what the property is saying. Along C and along C1, if you integrate that function, the answer is going to be the same. So you have to write by property, the property statement, what I have written on the previous page, that statement you have to write here again. Okay. So don't write by property. So you have to mention by the property using Cauchy's theorem and the statement of the property. So now the equation C1 is nothing but a circle with center A and radius R. So what is the equation of a circle? We'll write mod z minus a is equal to R. So what does it mean by that? Z minus a is R e power I theta. This is the form. So taking a to the other side, z is equal to a plus R e power I theta. Since it's a circle, theta lies between 0 and 360, right? So 0 to 2 pi. Okay. So if z is this, integrating, then what I'll get dz, a is a constant. If you integrate, it will become 0. With respect to theta, we are integrating. So r is just a constant, I'll write e power I theta, if you differentiate, I e power I theta into d theta. So just we are differentiating and we have written dz. So we are going to replace this, because along C1 I know what is C1. So here we are going to replace. So integral over C f of z by z minus a dz is equal to, right hand side I have written along C1, right? C1 theta varies from 0 to 2 pi. My function is f of z. In the place of z I have written a plus r e power I theta divided by z minus a. What is z minus a? R e power I theta. We have written that. The place of dz, just now we got dz, I have written that. Just we have replaced what is there on the right hand side. So to know this answer, if I simplify this, I'll get it. So now we are taking this I outside and then we are writing integral 0 to 2 pi r e power I theta, and this r e power I theta will get cancelled. This I is going outside. F of a plus r e power I theta d theta. Okay. So now what we are saying is, so this is true for any r. This function is true for any r. So I am taking that r as very small value, almost close to 0. I can take this r as small as possible, close to 0. Since r is tending to 0, this is true for any r which is greater than 0. I'm just completely neglecting this value. If almost r becomes 0, this whole value will become 0 and you will get only f of a d theta. So this is true for any r. So I am taking an r which is close to 0. So I am taking this value as a negligible value and I am omitting it. So f of, only I am writing f of a d theta. So only theta we have. F of a is a constant. Taking that f of a outside. Inside the integration we have d theta. D theta if I integrate theta. What is the limit? 0 to 2 pi. So upper limit if I substitute, I into f of a into 2 pi, because lower limit is 0, 2 pi minus 0. So what I will get? 2 pi I f of a. That's it. So now what is f of a? F of a is 1 by 2 pi. I am pushing the 2 pi to the other side. So f of a is 1 by 2 pi I integral over c f of z by z minus a dz. This is what we have proved. This is what actually we have to prove. F of a is 1 by 2 pi I integral over c f of z by z minus a dz. So we will be solving based on this theorem, solving problems based on this theorem. And so we saw two theorems, and this is a generalized Cauchy's integral formula. This proof is not there for your syllabus, but again for problem we'll use this. If f of z is analytic inside and on a simple closed curve C, and if a is any point within C, in general I am writing f power n of a. What we have got in Cauchy's integral formula is f of a. Here we are generalizing it. So f power n of a is equal to n factorial by 2 pi I integral over c f of z by z minus a power n plus 1 dz. So you have to just memorize this statement and we'll be using this formula in the problem. So what is the normal formula? F of a, what we have proved now, f of a is equal to, in the place of n we had 1 by 2 pi I integral over c f of z by z minus a. dz. That is what we had in this Cauchy's integral formula. This is the general form. So go through these problems, and when you are studying these theorems, you have to memorize the statement also. Thank you.